Hello all, welcome back. So now that you know what simple interest is, now you know the formula for simple interest, which is principal into rate by 100 into time. And now you know what amount is. Amount is simply principal plus interest. Interest can be of two types, simple interest or compound interest. First question that we have here is that Ajay lent rupees 8,800 to be divided between his two sons aged 11 years and 13 years, such that both of them would get an equal amount when lent at a rate of 10% simple interest. So here you have to notice that the amount that both these children are going to get is same, and both are going to get that same equal amount at 18 years of age. When they reach 18 years of age, that is the time period the younger one will take to reach 18 years is 7 years, and the older one will just take 5 years, and the interest is same 10%, and the final amount is also same. Okay, so the only different factor or the only varying factor is the time period and the initial principal that we can take as P1 or P2, whatever it is. We have to find what is the share of elder in rupees 8,800. That is, we have to find P2 or the share of the elder brother. Out of that 8,800, how much the elder one will get. Okay, so first thing you have to notice is that these three things are same: the interest, the final time, that is 18 years, both will get the amount, equal amount when they will reach 18 years of age. Okay, and final amount is also same. So let us just erase it all away. So the younger one will take 7 years to reach the amount, which the elder one will have to get to the same amount in 5 years. Okay, so here what we are going to do, we are going to split this 8,800 into half, 4,400 and 4,400. Okay, now listen very carefully. Now we are just going to use logic here. It is important you understand how exactly I am doing it. Okay, if you are not understanding this, please watch this video over and over again. Try to understand the logic behind this. So just assume both of them got equal principal. If these 8,800 was split to both of them equally, then do you think is it possible to reach the same amount for both of them after 7 years for the first guy and after 5 years for the second guy? Here notice that the interest rate of interest is same, it is 10%. So the 7 years, the younger one have 7 years, so obviously the younger one will get a higher amount than the older one. Older one has just 5 years, right? Older one will not accrue as much as interest as compared to the younger one. Younger one has more time. So what we have to do, we have to reach an equal amount. Okay, we have to make sure that both children get equal amount when they attain 18 years of age. So that simply means, since the younger one has more time in his hands, the younger one can start with less principal, and the older one will have to have more principal. Okay, because unless the older one starts with a higher principal, he is not going to catch up with his younger brother to reach the same amount. If both of them have to get the same amount, the younger one has to have a smaller principal, and the older one must have a higher principal as compared to the younger one. So now that the logic is clear, now let's find out what the answer is. Now it is very sure that the younger one will have less principal as compared to the older one. So what we have to do, we can just go through the options. First of all, we have to find the share of the elder one. Okay, elder one will obviously have more principal from the beginning, so elder one will have an amount which is greater than 4,400. Okay, because if the amount was split at 4,400, both of them would get equal amount, but it is not the case. So here the older brother will get a higher amount. So let's cut out option 1 and option 2 because both of them lies below 4400, right? Let's just cut them off. Now we have two options, 4475 and 4675. Now that we know, if let us assume the principal to be 4400, the rate was 10% per annum, right? So 10% of 4400 is 440. So obviously 4475 will not be the answer because the difference is only 75 rupees, which is impossible since 1 year interest is nearly 4440. Okay, so the only possible answer is 4675. Okay, I'm going to ignore the none of this part because most of the bank questions will not have this none of this as the option. There will be, but still for saving time I'm not going to look here. I'm going to take the chance and select option 4 as my answer. Okay, please understand the logic behind it. Let's go to the next question. So let us come to the next question. SBI lent rupees 10,000 to Aishwarya at 7% simple interest for 10 years. Okay. Meanwhile, the government implemented a scheme due to which the interest rate was reduced by 2%. Okay, here please note, interest rate was reduced by 2% means if the initial interest was 7%, it was reduced by further 2% to reach a final interest rate of 5%. If in the question it was said that the interest rate was reduced to 2%, then we would have took 2% as the final interest rate. But here it is mentioned that the interest rate was reduced by 2%, so we simply decrease that 2 by 7 to reach 5% as the final interest rate. Okay, so 5% is the interest which Aishwarya has to pay after the government implemented that scheme. By this time Aishwarya paid rupees 16,000 in total, right? So 16,000 in total simply means 6,000 rupees was paid by Aishwarya as interest. So the question is, then how many years after Aishwarya took the loan the government introduced this scheme? Okay, let us find that out. First of all, we have to find the middle value, right? This is a question for allocation. Whenever we are given two extreme terms and we were asked to find on what ratio these terms were divided by after giving a middle term, we usually allocate those values to find the final ratio. Okay, the concept of allocation will be dealt with later classes. Right now let's find out how to solve this question. So let us assume if the Aishwarya paid 7% simple interest for whole 10 years, then for 1 year she would have paid 700, right? For 10 years she would have paid rupees 7,000 at 7% simple interest. But if the government had the government implemented this scheme from the beginning, then Aishwarya would have had to pay just 5% interest, that is 5,000 rupees for the whole 10 years. But that was not the case. Aishwarya finally paid rupees 6,000. Okay, so let us allocate these values. 7,000 minus 6,000 will give you 1,000, and 6,000 minus 5,000 will also give you 1,000. So the ratio is 1:1. So that simply means for half the time Aishwarya paid at 7% interest, and for the remaining half she paid only 5% as interest. So for 10 years she took the loan, so half of 10 year will be 5 years. That is 5 year is your answer. For 5 years Aishwarya paid 7% interest, and for the rest 5 years she paid 5% interest.